the IG. It's the IG. The power moves that I'm making got my adversary shaking awake.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. How are you doing? We are here today to discuss a very important topic, and that is the application of self confidence in a social and in a professional environment. Now, if you can recall, on our first video, we discussed the two different mindsets, and that is the one of an optimist and one of a pessimist. And we divulged into detail about that. But what we are planning to explore on this second video, which is a follow up to that, is applying those mindsets. And preferably, we're going to talk specifically how to apply a optimistic and confident mindset in a working environment and also likewise in a social environment. Now, I don't know what type of work that you may do. You may find yourself in the hospice, into care. If you work in a restaurant, you may work in a bar, you may work in an office, government office, you may have your own business. But there are certain qualities that you must possess in order to be successful in that environment. Now, whenever you are in a situation where there's people, then you have to understand that sometimes the way in which we conduct ourselves and the manner in which we carry ourselves has a large part to play with how successful we are in a working environment. Now, what do I say that? Now, just retrospect, if you want, if you can. If you've ever gone to a meeting, whatever that meeting, maybe it was a staff meeting, maybe it was a board meeting, maybe it was just a program meeting. What what is your mindset during those meetings? Before you go to those meetings, are you going with a mindset of, oh, just another one of those meetings? Somebody else is going to lead. We're just going to take notes. Or are you going with the mindset of, look, this is a situation where decisions are going to be made and my voice needs to be heard and I need to give my sincere, honest opinion and it has to be heard. That's the way that you should look at those situations. A situation like a staff meeting is a very important thing. It's an opportunity for you to not only give feedback, but it's also for you to understand more of what goes on in other departments and other offices. I know it's important. We always want to sit on this pedestal and discuss our little corner of the working environment, but it's important for you to know what your colleagues are going through. Besides just the regular lunch or coffee breaks, you want to come into staff meetings with a confident attitude. You want to come with the attitude that it's not an overly proud or an overly just it's confidence is different from pride. It's recognizing that other people are important, but knowing that likewise you also are important. What you have to say and contribute should also be considered and recognized. Now that cannot happen once you don't have the proper mindset. Once you don't come into that meeting or come into that discussion with the mindset that this is what I'm going to say and it has to be understood, and I will make sure that I stress and emphasize on it until it's understood. Once you don't have that mindset, you're going to go into that meeting and you're going to allow other people's thoughts, words, and actions to influence you. So then you become a poster on the wall, so to speak. And that's a beautiful poster, by the way. So, but if you look like that, then that's great. I'm just kidding. Back to the topic. So what does that mean? Now, how can you asking, oh, Vidan, how can I apply this? Well, it's very simple. Before you go to any meeting, any discussion in a working professional environment, you want to be prepared. It doesn't mean you have to go and do a 2 3 months worth of research. What that means essentially is you have to know exactly what it is that's going to be discussed. You're going to have to at least have some preliminary input and be able to discuss that topic relevantly and give your insight. Now, might require you do a little bit of reading, to do a little bit of background to understand exactly what are those issues that are going to be discussed. Once you're confident enough to discuss those issues, then the second thing is you want to kind of outline in your mind for yourself exactly what it is that you plan to say. You can either jot down bullet points. I find that this works really well for me. I jot down bullet points and I kind of memorize those bullet points. Then when I go into meetings, I categorize what I need to say according to those bullet points. To me, that's so much easier. That works for me. And that has worked for a lot of people that I've talked to, that people that I have interviewed and discussed this particular topic with. So the key here is always be prepared. When you're prepared for something, you're more confident to discuss it because you have some insight into it, as opposed to not being prepared and just going and winging it, and hopefully nobody notices that you don't know a thing about what you're saying, or you just have a little information. So that's one of the first confidence building factors when it comes to being a meeting, being a work environment. Is you have to be prepared for a situation, for discussions and so forth. So now, the second thing is always have a cordial coexistence with your colleagues. I'm going to repeat that. Have a cordial coexistence with your colleagues. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means basically, hey, you don't have to love me. I don't have to love you. But for the simple fact is, we work together. We have to coexist. We have to live together, work together in this environment. The reason I say live is we spend more time. Those of us that are fully employed, we spend more time in the offices or in the places of work than we do at home. So basically, those people that you work with, they almost become your family, and your real family becomes your second family in terms of time allocation and your activities. So when I say coexist, I mean that there should be a cordiality. Everybody that you interact with, because you don't control other people's feelings, you don't control other people's emotions, but what you do control are your own feelings, your own thoughts, your own actions. And you cannot throw your intention. Intentions are within your heart, within your mind. But what you portray, your actions, is what other people will see. That's how you will impact other people. So, in a working environment, no matter how difficult it may be, no matter how stressful it is, no matter how much that certain employee, because we all know that there's that one employee that wants to make your time hell in that place for whatsoever reason. It could just be you're the new guy or the new girl, and maybe somebody has their eyes on you, or it could just be you have a very strong work ethic. It could be you dress a little sharper, or you speak differently, or the boss favors you. It could be for a number of reasons. But I know there's always that one that one employee. With my experiences and with other people that I've spoke to and interviewed, I get similar reaction. So the thing about it is always be cordial, always be responsible and respectful, always be professional. You see, when you have that perimeter around you, what it does is it lets people know that, hey, you're giving off this responsible, respectful, cordial vibe, and you expect that in return. Because a lot of times your energy you give out, that's what comes back to you. So if you feel that in the job or in the office that you need to be a jerk and you need to push people around and insult people, guess what? Very soon that energy is going to come back to you. If you're the boss and you think that's okay, fine, you're the boss, you're the set standard bearer, but it's not going to have a positive impact on what you want to achieve as an administrator, as a manager, as a director, as whatsoever. So always maintain cordiality, and always, at all times, be responsible. Present yourself in a professional manner all the time. That alone will build confidence because people then will see you with they'll know that you have self-respect, and they will be cautious how they approach you. The second confidence building strategy within a working environment is always be task oriented. Always be task oriented. What does that mean? That means the job that you have been employed to do, you have been employed to do to perform, and that your boss doesn't really care much about anything else besides how you perform. So the fact of the matter is, you want to be task oriented. You want to be focused on the task at hand, be disciplined, and perform those tasks. That sounds pretty simple in theory, but a lot of times people get sidetracked. Sometimes you get sidetracked by work politics. Sometimes you get sidetracked by other people's negative influence. There's always the people in the offices or in the business or in the working environment that are kind of slothful and lazy. And unfortunately, if you hang around them too much, you will kind of tend to want to be like them. But when you're task oriented, when you're focused on the goals and the tasks that you need to achieve for your department or for your job that day or for that week, and you're given those results, then it's going to be recognized. If it is not recognized the first day, the second day, the third month, even that year, but it will be recognized. And you will be surprised how many bosses pay attention to these details without telling you, the employee, or recognizing you in the presence of other people or even confidentially. So let's recap. The first is always be prepared for meetings, for any type of discussion. Always be prepared mentally, rehearse what you're going to say. So that's a confidence building technique in the working environment. Secondly, always coexist in a professional manner. Also, always give cordiality to your colleagues, your bosses, even your subordinates. Yes, they deserve it because they're the ones that are there for you. They're the ones that will be able to even tell you the little gossip, like, oh, you know, that's the situation. Everybody has their part to play, and don't feel because you are a manager or you don't have to have any kind of respect for your underman or your understaff. That is the wrong mentality, and when you do that, it will lead to your downfall. And the third thing, and the third thing that we just mentioned is being task oriented. That means paying attention to the task at hand and getting your work done. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's why you're on payroll. That's why resources are being spent on you for you to work. Now, if you don't do these things, guess what? That cloud of unproductivity is going to hang over you. And sooner or later, when it comes to downsizing, your name's going to be on that list. And I'm sure none of my audience or none of my followers will want to be on that list. And I know after this video that there's going to be a significant change in the way that you behave on the working environment, on the job. Now, those are three things. Now, let's go to social implication or social application of confidence and confidence building techniques in a social environment. I think we mentioned few on the first video, but more specifically, the reason why, some people will say, oh, well, Walker, you're talking about relationships. Well, let me tell you the reason why I speak about relationships. Because relationships are the foundation of everything in this world. Wars get started and get stopped due to relationships. Every business, every business that has been successful has always been founded and grown on key relationships. So relationship is very essential, whether it's a personal relationship, whether it's an intimate relationship. Relationships are essential. That's what makes us human. We are civilized and we interact with people, and it's through that interaction that we build those key relationships. So one thing I want you to know is that I want you to distinguish confidence from pride, because confidence is a form of pride, but it's not the pride of arrogance. It's not the pride of I'm better than you. I don't need to hear what you say. In fact, you're garbage. It's not that. What it is recognizing your own talent, your own ability, and your own skill sets and applying that. So in a social environment, whether it's a relationship with a colleague, you always want to recognize people for what they do. Now, you would say, "Oh, Walker, wait, this is about me. Why do I need to recognize other people?" The thing about it is when you recognize other people and you give other people their a compliment, what it does, it shows to them that you are secure enough in yourself to compliment them. So it's not just all about you. And believe it or not, that's a confidence building technique. If you see something that you like on somebody, you can compliment, "Hey, I really like that blouse. Hey, I like the way that you presented that topic today in class. Thank you for your time that you spent. I really appreciate you." As simple as that may seem, but it goes a long way in the social context because it makes people to feel good about themselves. And once they feel good about themselves, and because you've given them that feeling of you've actually helped to build their confidence, they want to be around you more, and that is beneficial for you in a social environment. So whether it's in a professional relationship or a intimate relationship with a partner, these are what shows that you have confidence and you're even willing to build somebody else's confidence up. So application of self-confidence and optimism in a social context, also your interaction. Now this there's been a topic about extrovert, introvert, you're either one or the other. I don't believe that. I believe that people are always changing. You could have a good day today and decide to be an extrovert. Other days you could not be having a so great day and you decide to be cool and mellow and listen to mellow music and just mellow out. I mean, that's fine. That's what makes every day different. There's never been 2 days that are the same. And likewise, there's never going to be one mood that you can categorize people in. Now, generally speaking, there are those that are outspoken and there are those that are reserved. Now, that doesn't mean that you cannot transition from one to the other. You don't want to put yourself in that box. But the point that I'm driving at here is that you need to recognize that you need to interact with people. Without human interaction, you could have the best business idea in the world and it's going to die. It's going to fail because you're not reaching your clients, you're not reaching your market, you're not reaching your customers, you're not talking about it, you're isolating that. You could be the best musician in the world. You could write the best music, you can record the best music, you can be well equipped for the business, but if you don't get out there, interact with people and expose yourself, then people are not gonna know. Now you might say, "Oh, Walker, there's media, there's electronics, there's everything is digitized now, so you don't have to get out there." But the fact of the matter is, who controls who controls the internet? I mean, who posts videos, who posts pictures? It's people that run that. It's people that run that. So basically, what I'm saying in a summary is that you need to interact with people specifically that will help you to achieve your goals. You have to interact with them. You don't have to interact with everybody. Now, a musician may not know all his fans, a businessman may not know all his clients, but I guarantee you, they know the ones that are significant in their eyes. We're all significant in God's eyes, but there are key partners and there's key roles, there's stakeholders. And once you understand that, you have to have the confidence to be able to deal with those people, to talk to those people, no matter how much you may stutter, no matter how shy you get, no matter how much you feel that you're not ready to pitch your idea. But you need to practice and you need to be able to interact with those people. So your human interaction is a very major part of confidence building. Because once you put away that you take away that fear of people and understand that people are just like you. They may have the same fears that you may have. They may have the same dislikes and the same confidence issues. And once you realize that and you're willing to kind of step above, get out of your comfort zone, so to say, and you have to interact with people in order to get your goals accomplished. And once you do that, that also builds confidence in a social environment. And this is also applicable in a professional environment. So the first thing we talked about was building confidence in a professional environment. Now we're talking about building confidence in a social context. And the first things that we were discussing in this second portion is being able to interact with people. You have to interact with people. You have to be able to build confidence in others. You have to be able to compliment people and recognize people for their achievement because you want to be recognized for your achievements. You want to be recognized for those little things. If you have a nice haircut, you want somebody to say, "Oh, Walker, that's a really nice haircut. You got really nice hair." Then you laugh and say, "Yeah, I'm." You know, that's that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to feel important. Everybody. There's nobody that wants to feel like they have no value. And though people, you may be surprised that people who you think are so well put together are maybe the person that just needs to hear that compliment. And the reason what it does is not so much what it does for you, but what it does for them. But it also has an impact on you because it makes you to feel good knowing that you've had a positive word on somebody. Because the words that we speak are either words of life or words of death. The power of life and death lies in the mouth. So if you're always speaking death, you're always professing death, that's a negative spirit. If you're speaking life and you're speaking goodness and happiness in somebody's life, then that happiness, that joy is going to come back to you. So it's always good to speak things that are positive, to say things that are positive, even in a situation that you may not understand. But there's always positivity in that. So to highlight in terms of social context, confidence building techniques to apply is one, recognize people for what they are and what they can do. Build confidence in others. And that also likewise will build confidence in yourself. And that's a very, very simple thing. It's very simple to the fact that people may overlook that. It's very simple. The second is your interaction. You have to interact with people. It's through people that you're going to get things done. It's not through a machine. It's through people you're going to get things done. You can make the best website in the world and post it all over the place, send out 100 emails, 1,000 emails. But the fact of the matter is, if you know 5 people within those places that you're sending emails out, when you send them an email, they're going to recognize that email and respond because they know you. So it's very important for us to interact. I know we can't spend all our time interacting because, there's so many things on the plate. We have some you may have job, you may have school, you may have another career, a hobby, you may have your family, and there's not enough hours in the day. We all know that. But the fact of the matter is, you have to prioritize human interaction. And technology, we technology is great. I love technology. I love the latest gadgets and so forth. But the fact of the matter is that we put too much emphasis and put too much trust in technology that we expect to make phone calls and everything is okay. But sometimes the face to face is also important. So don't rule that out in your social life. And all those things builds confidence in you when you see somebody face to face and you discuss whatsoever you want to discuss with them. That shows to them that you have the ability and the confidence to represent yourself not only in that environment but also in other professional environments. So for the third and the final leg of this discussion, we will be concluding with a topic on actually the topic that we're going to discuss on the last and third video. I'll leave that up for grabs. I'll leave it up for grabs because I want some of your input as well. I want your feedback. Leave a comment below. Click on the like button. This is the Dom. It's been great talking to you. I see that you're motivated, that you're making money, and that you're going to listen to some great music. And that's my goal is to motivate you to become a better person, to look at yourself in a different way that you've seen yourself before. And there's nobody that's perfect or has all the answers. But the fact of the matter is, once you continue to use these techniques to build confidence, you will indeed succeed in what you do because you have the mindset. Everything starts from here. It's the mindset that makes you achieve. It's not external. It's not external forces. It's the mindset. And once that mindset is in the right place, then you will succeed. So I'm signing off. I'll see you guys on the third video. I'm not going to say what that video is at this moment, but pretty soon you're going to be seeing it. And we'll see you guys later. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.